Arts and Culture Minister Nathi Mthethwa is also weighing in on the issue. Now, he says he is absolutely horrified by Mampintsha's actions and calls on Babes Wodumo to press charges immediately. Well, the minister joins us now live on the line from Durban. Minister, thank you so much for speaking with us this afternoon. What were your first thoughts when you saw that video?
Well, was that our society has to be a civilized society. We have to be outraged whenever such acts are committed, because this forms key to our social ills as a society. And if we are going to be building a unified nation, we've got to ensure that we confront such sketches. Now, when people argue, they may argue in a relationship or what have you, but nobody is allowed to assault anybody else in society. We are saying that the gender-based violence in our country is on the increase. That is why 2 years ago we called a summit of arts and culture to say, let's look at this issue. What can we do as society? But of course, when it happens, it doesn't matter whether it's somebody who is well-known in society or not so well-known. As long as it happens, society should be intolerant of such.
Now, Minister, as your portfolio is arts and culture, what could you possibly do when it comes to, making society a little more aware of, especially when it comes to gender violence, because this is a societal problem. We can run to the police, we can run to the courts, but ultimately it's what happens in the home, is it not?
Well, it is a societal problem, but the kind of problem where we should never have excuse for it to recur in society. First and foremost is that we should, all of us, support the victims. The first concrete way of supporting them is to encourage them to press for charges, criminal charges, if such things happen to them. Because today it's a clap, tomorrow it's a heavy beating, the other day is death. And that's going to be part and parcel of society. So our community conversations as we go around the communities, and as we launched in 2017, the summit on gender-based violence in Soweto, we're making a call to community, but we are deepening consciousness to communities that if we are to be true to the values and principles of the Constitution of building an unsexist South Africa, we have to understand the patriarchal power relations as one such pernicious, having pernicious effects to society, like racism. So therefore, we should talk about it. But at the end of the day, the victim is the one who should be moving, because without laying charges as a victim, we can talk as society and so on. That is why I said that support has to be given to victims by society. And it's something we should talk about and internalize, because we can't say it's a societal problem and then fold our arms.
Yes, very true. Minister, let's just look at looking at your former portfolios as well from safety and security. Surely we need to look at, when we go to the courts, surely the courts now need to start punishing the perpetrators, even more than we see, to set some sort of example, so we can say, listen, you know what, when you're coming up, this you should not do, because there is heavy punishment awaiting you if you cross that particular line.
Well, one of the things which happens, outside of the glare of society is that the Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit in the department, in SAPS, is one such unit which is doing all in its power with limited resources in terms of personnel, because those are specialists in these matters, and therefore it would be important that I've raised it even in the past, that this is one area where we need to strengthen ourselves, because if you can be exposed to their records, they are actually doing a wonderful job. But the problem is bigger in society. That is why when you meet as community members and so on, we need always to be talking about this thing, because people treat it. And by the way, the research has shown that almost 90% or more of people who fall victims to domestic violence, like what is happening in our society, happen amongst people who are acquaintances. And therefore, the temptation of not reporting the matter is huge. But on the other hand, people around the end of the week, Friday and so on, they'll go to police stations, report these matters, but come Sunday or Monday, they are the ones who withdraw such cases. And it becomes difficult for police to go forward.
That is a very big problem. Thank you so much, Minister, the Arts and Culture Minister there, Nathi Mthethwa, just talking to us there live from Durban. He brought out a tweet earlier in the morning after he saw that video where he says, "We are absolutely horrified by the actions of musician Mampintsha caught on video."